You get
housemate.
okay.
Okay. Hello, everybody. It's welcome to Teachers Teaching Teachers. We're jumping in right here. Um, I am taking a quick vacation, so I'm not here tomorrow.
Oh,
So Barrett,
go ahead with your bad self, Paul.
there you go. So Barrett, Rosa, sorry, your last name.
Rosser, yeah.
Rosson, yes, sir. Agreed to come tonight. And I got Sam and Bonnie to come, and we have a really exciting project to discuss. And between the four of us, I think we can mix it up pretty well. So one of the things we'd like to do is look at the project that you just got a grant for last month, I think, or 2 months ago, something like that. And both Sam and Bonnie are on the teams that are working on this. So maybe just kind of jump us in. You can pull the slides up whenever you're ready. You made some slides, which is quite honorable of you. Welcome, everybody. Yeah.
All right.
So tell us what the name of this project is. I don't even know the name of it. Does it have a name?
It does. It's called Building a Living Archive, Black Youth Rewriting Histories in Philadelphia.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, so I took some of the slides from our first meetings, but really the questions that I'm thinking, especially in this space, is how might AI advance our work or make our work visible?
Oh, wow. That's you're jumping right into the question. Okay,
yeah, because as I share, like things might come up. So I'm hoping, as a great teacher would, before I get into the reading, that you have a question in mind. And this is one of the questions, and you may have others as I share more of what the project is about.
Cool. All right. Could you introduce yourself a little more? Sorry,
okay.
I didn't do a good job there.
Let me come back. Okay.
And then Sam and Bonnie, you introduce her too.
Let me come back.
We're jumping in, but that's fine. Hi, Marina. Thank you for coming on a Tuesday night.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
Hi. I guess it's a good thing I emailed you, Paul, because I was planning to come tomorrow. So, hi, everyone.
Hey, Marina.
Now I really have other person to talk to. Great. Hi, I'm
Barry. Yeah, we have an audience.
Nice to meet you. I'm part of the Philadelphia Writing Project. I was the Phillips Scholar for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Now I'm Dr. Barrett, and I'm the postdoctoral research fellow with Philadelphia Writing Project, the first ever leading research for the next 2 years that I hope to share and get your feedback, reflections, and input on.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations.
So can I check on your name there? It's Dr. Barrett. You go by first name, Dr. Barrett?
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that here and there. Fair enough. Okay, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I brought some friends with me too. Well, maybe they brought me, but Bonnie and Sam, y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Yes. So, Dr. Barrett, and I'm Dr. Bonnie. And I am one of the teacher researchers that Barrett has solicited and requested to be a part of the team, the research team. I have been assigned to and have taken on the curriculum side of the research, along with, I think there are 4 other teachers and 4 students. So they're all teenagers in high school. And when I say soror, I'll tell you that Dr. Barrett and myself are both members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Yes, the Divine Nine organization that we are both so very proud to be members and sorors together, working together for the good of young people.
Bonnie, do you have a student working with you too?
Not from my school at all. Other high schools.
Got it. And Sam.
Cool. Hey, folks. Yeah, Sam, aka Reed, the teacherpreneur. I like to tell folks that I teach young people to read, write, and make sense of the world. And I also teach them how to hustle for social good. And I teach at the youth school, but I'm currently on a sabbatical, and so I'm controlling my time by engaging in projects that are going to incubate and generate me, so when I come back in the classroom I'll be ready to hit the ground like really, really soaring. And so this project, when Barrett introduced it, I was like excited to be a part of it, and I'm going to be participating in the archival group, working on the archives while Bonnie's focusing on the curriculum. And
What, Barrett? You can't hear anybody? Uh-oh. Barrett, hello?
so do I need to speak louder?
No, you're fine.
we can hear you.
fine.
Barrett
It's
can't
an issue
hear.
with Barrett's
Can y'all hear
sound.
me?
Yeah,
We can hear
I
you.
can't
Yes.
hear anybody.
Uh-oh. So let's take a minute to fix that.
what about her earbuds?
Do you have earbuds you want to throw on? Or wait, I'm saying this to her, right? Yeah, okay.
Okay, should she go in and out again then?
Yeah.
Oops.
I'm gonna leave out and come back.
Okay.
And Diane is looking for us. She's like, where are we at in here?
Send her the link.
I'll be right back.
Where's Diane? Okay, so we'll take a minute to get everybody together. Who is it?
Diane Woff.
Yeah. I don't know if she has been here before, but let's
No,
see.
I don't.
Bobby,
Yes, I
Yes.
hear it now. Okay.
my friend Julie.
Okay, you can hear us
Yeah.
now?
Too.
Your friend is out there in cyberland somewhere, Marina.
She's in the lobby. She's not as from. She came once to
Is that Joy?
Joy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't see
I'll send her.
Diane yet. No. Can you hear
So-
Barry?
I saw Diane in the lobby. Now I don't see her there, and she was asking where we were. I just took a picture and sent it.
Is there a way to send her a note?
She's
Sorry
not
about this.
online now, I don't think.
Okay.
You want to text her?
Yeah, I just texted her a picture of where we are. She said, writing partners meetup.
Yeah.
Says she's a guest now.
Okay. And I just sent Joy a note, and I'll send it to Diane also.
I'm sorry I missed Sam's introduction. I'm sure.
No, I paused, so I won't repeat. But I'm going to make a bridge to like this project, which we're doing, and the project that we're also doing at the youth school, where I'm seeing like opportunities for connection, particularly around the AI side. So we're doing this project, the 2892 Miles to Go project, that's supported by the National Geographic Foundation. And what we're doing is students are going to be doing story maps of resilience, using story mapping to map stories of resilience and the contributions of, regular folks in the community, which is like a perfect tie-in to what we're doing with some of our archival work. So I'm excited about that. And then I'm also excited that we do have a youth school student that's on our team, and also the other amazing young folks that are part of our work. And then the fact that we have an opportunity to do this bridging of what we're doing at the youth school with the 2892 project, with what we're doing with the writing project, is really exciting. Oh, and I'll make one thing I love for us to get into is like that we were thinking about, like with AI, part of it's like using AI to help students develop their own project, right? like develop their own inquiry and then develop their own maps, like using AI to help them guide around, because we do competency-based, project-based learning, but what if we use AI to help students navigate the process using AI as a support tool? So I love if we get some opportunity to talk about that. That would be cool.
So I need to jump in and talk about the bridge that I thought of with AI and curriculum, is that AI needs to hear the voices of the quote unquote few, and needs to be fed information about for and about people who look like me and who look like them. And so that the narrative voice of AI will not be the domination of white men. And no shade to you, Paul. So that's a part of why I said no. This needs to be also included and embedded in AI, and we need to use AI in lots of ways in order for the heritage to be visible in this new technological world.
Right. So it's not at all a complete answer, and to what degree what we've done is a Band-Aid is a good question, and our Band-Aid's a good thing, but certainly on several of the writing partners we use, those writing partners respect and speak with Black language understanding and respect, right? So we can build tools with AI that do that already. So we need to kind of sit and help kids understand that. Does that make some sense to what you just said?
Yes.
Okay. Joy, do you want to introduce yourself? And then we're finally going to get into it. And I can't figure out how to get to Diane. If anybody can send Diane a link, that would help, like outside of here. But in the meantime, Joy, welcome.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I don't know what you need in the intro, but
you're a colleague of Marina's. Yes.
Yes. So Marina Lombardo invited me in to this space. I teach English as a new language at Pocantico Hill School, the same school where Marina teaches. And I'm just interested in this topic. I think somebody here is a Delta, I heard, but I'm a Delta, member of Delta Sigma. Yeah. We got two Deltas, okay, in the house. So I definitely know I'm in the right place. So thank you for welcoming me tonight.
Cool.
So Bonnie and Barrett, when you mentioned that you were part of the sorority, I had invited Joy earlier this morning. I was going back and forth with Paul a little bit, and he said, we're going to be on tonight. So when you said that, I texted her. I'm like, you need to get on this call. Your sorority sisters are on here.
Yes.
I was coming anyway, but that was even more of an incentive.
Wonderful. Now here
comes we are like 20 minutes in, and we have introductions almost done, and it's perfect. Diane, do you want to introduce yourself? Welcome.
Hi, Diane Block from the Philadelphia Writing Project.
Great.
And that's not all she is. She just did a really quick snippet, 5-word intro.
I'm happy that I found it. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. It's fine. We have a little rough start here, but that's if you want to move around, you can sit on the comfy green couch. But don't worry about it too much. You can use the arrow keys to do that. Welcome, everybody. Barrett, I think we're finally ready for what you started 10 minutes ago, but that's okay. Barrett brought some slides, and we want to learn more about the archive project, and we are going to jumpstart the question about where does AI fit in any of this. And people have already been doing that. Sam had some suggestions for how to use AI to help kids direct their inquiry. Is that a fair Sam, do you want to say that one more time? And then we'll,
kind of directed inquiry, but like even like the curation of like steps that they might need to see, or like like how. So I mean, people are developing apps and programs that are like helping kids do project-based learning, right? So they're like, oh, this is the project, and then it's going to just spit out like, oh, do this, do this, do this, do this, do that. But we kind of want it to like help them with scaffolding that. Like, how can we use AI to scaffold building your own project, right? And your project is based on your inquiry. And if you're doing this GIS work and you're doing, mapping, like how it basically, figuring out how we can use AI to help with scaffolding students developing their own projects.
cool.
If that makes sense. And it's a development. We haven't like we're trying to figure it out.
And Bonnie, do you want to say your piece again? Because
Yes. Well, and the tie-in to working in this research project for me is the language that AI speaks and the input that it gets from its users and who is using it, for what reasons, and what information is it gaining. Are we being left out as Black people once again? I just refuse for that to happen. So every time I get an opportunity to work in AI, its design, the development, I'm about feeding it the language that's spoken by the people who look like me, whatever that means.
cool.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah. Go ahead, Barrett.
All right, let's get it. I'm going to share more about our project, where we've been, some of the goals that we had, and try to share an idea of where we're headed, which I'm not really clear about, but it's the beauty of practitioner research. All right, so the name of our project is Building a Living Archive, Black Youth Rewriting Histories in Philadelphia. And I'd like you to hold this question in your mind as I share more about our project. How might AI advance our work or make our work visible? So what brought us together are our past partnerships with the Colored Girls Museum in Philadelphia, which is a beautiful space, a 3-story home dedicated to the Black girl and women, Black girls and women who've been colored or tainted by the world and the ways in which we celebrate the ordinary Black girl. We also, the Philadelphia Writing Project, has had years of partnership with Independence National Historical Park, with youth groups and teacher development and summer institutes. And our work with the School District of Philadelphia is always an ongoing thing since the inception of the Philadelphia Writing Project. So we've been thinking about, or we thought about how we could come together as partners to create a living archive through the development of curricular materials. And we're really thinking about how we can use Goldie Muhammad's framework that's here, her conversation about Black literary societies, to uplift the hidden histories of Black folks in Philadelphia as we prepare to share or celebrate America's 250th birthday. There's going to be a lot of celebration here in 2026, as well as celebrating Philadelphia's Black history courses and classes in Philadelphia. Teachers and student teachers teach Black history in the 9th grade, I believe it is. And so I think it's a celebration of that happening as well. So we're all coming together over these 2 years to think about our project. The goal of the project is to develop and implement curriculum that helps us build a living archive by centering narratives of Black youth in Philadelphia as they draw links between the past, present, and future. We're going to build a living archive with young people and teachers through poems, images, essays, films, performances, and other artistic and literary works. Young people in Philadelphia will have their stories and contribution recognized in visible ways through this living archive, bringing the memory work of African American contributions to civic and social life to the present through participatory collaborative processes. We had 3 research questions. One, how do public
at the end of that, let's take a break and hear questions. But go ahead.
How do public school teachers and youth work in collaboration with museum partners to challenge inequities and make visible the important contributions of Black Philadelphians, communities, civic engagement and achievements? How do young people, teachers, and museum educators in Philadelphia experience learning about U.S. history, and how does that learning influence teaching practices? What are the socio-historical narratives that emerge when building a living archive as Philadelphia youth and teachers engage with existing archival documents? So I'm gonna pause here. I can't see anybody, so I'm gonna stop sharing so I can.
So just speak up, folks. Yeah, you can pause. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
One thing, Barrett, I was thinking, Dr. Barrett, I was thinking as you were presenting the questions again and considering living archive, how many of us teachers were born, bred, and buttered in Philadelphia? If in fact we are Black, I think all of us on the team are Black people. Or maybe one, maybe not. And the students, and what they even know about the city, because I was born at the Black hospital that was in Philadelphia. It no longer exists, and most people don't even know it ever existed. So when we talk about living archives, and I know that what we did at our last team meeting, we talked about prior to the 1900s. And so when we think about this project, what is the span? Because, it's like an infinity and beyond of Black existence in the city of Philadelphia.
You want to take a few questions and then answer them, or do you want to go back and forth? Up to you, Barrett.
I think that's a question that's ongoing. And when I met with Adrian, who came, I'll explain more about how our teams are set up. But that was a question, like, which histories? Even Paul's like, so what is the content? And I think we're trying to make it so that teachers can choose. And some teachers want me to tell them, and I'm not gonna tell them. But people are doing things in their classrooms already that's being informed by histories, which I know, which is why I invited the folks that I invited. So I think it's open. Like you said, infinite Black histories, even personal histories of the Black teachers on our team could inform the work that we do.
Well, it's got a geography, right? I mean, a location, so that it's not endless that way, right? Which is good. Some boundary. Good.
The boundary is the location.
And that it's Philadelphia. Yeah.
Okay. Any others, or shall I continue? Continue.
Now, I have a clarity question.
Yes.
When you talk about curriculum and development of curriculum and development of the living archive, is the focus on the 10 teachers and students and 10 students, is that right? I think so, who are involved right now, and is the curriculum for them, or are they developing curriculum for people later? And is the living archive the curriculum that they'll use? Does that make sense?
I think I got the first 2 questions. So we've been having a lot of conversation about how the students on the project will participate and show their expertise. Some of the students are in the classrooms of the teachers on the teams. Other students are not, and they're not even in the same schools as the teachers. So the curriculum that the teachers implement in their classrooms will service the students in their classes. And we're thinking about how the students on our team can give feedback to those teachers, inform the teachers about how they can make their curriculum improve for the students in their own classrooms, and still thinking about how we can disrupt hierarchies so that the teachers are getting feedback from the students on our team, and the students have a voice in that matter. We also hope to share these curricular items with teachers and students in summer institutes and Phillips youth programs throughout the summer. So we're thinking about how we can build on these items and make them public so other people can think about how to use curricular items or practices or parts of lesson plans, whichever teachers feel are most valuable for folks to do some of this own work on their own. Diane, did I miss something? What do you think?
Well, I mean, we have 3 partners. So the School District of Philadelphia also has a website, and we have partners in the district's curriculum office. So if any units of study are developed, someone creates a concert, a musical score, we want to make that available to teachers and students across the city. And if it's on the district's website, or some of those artifacts find their way into the Color Girls Museum, or publicized through the Park Service website, it will be open to a broader community than Philadelphia. It would be beyond, our local community.
Which is great. And thus, my thinking, and I told Paul, I said, listen, I have to get some AI in here because there's just no way that I'm going to not include AI in the work that I do with and for young people. Because it is here now. It's what's coming. It's not going away. And to kind of start chipping away some of the fears and anxieties educators have about using it. So just trying to navigate like the salmon to swim upstream while the water is going down, like going in and just like, come on, y'all, you can do this. You can do this, and you can do this with students.
Hey Barrett, if you could tease out, you did great on the first part, but could you tease out a little bit about the living archive for everybody else's edification? Because this is something that's unique that a lot of us haven't thought about, the construct of a living archive.
Well, I mean, do you see the story map as a living archive? Just like the National Writing Project had Write Out since 2020 up to now, where Writing Project sites took us on walks through communities in New Orleans, in Westchester, in San Diego. Those are on the NWP website. To me, that's a living archive.
Yeah, I know.
I got more. I
Okay.
got more slides.
Yeah,
Go for
yeah,
it.
yeah,
We'll come
yeah.
back to you, Barrett. Yeah.
Let's
Okay,
yeah, because I want everybody to see,
Yeah.
like, to get it. I
got
think
10
I'm getting
slides.
it, but the more we
I
share,
got
the more
10.
we get it. I
Let's
got
go.
you. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Let's do
If I
it.
stole your thunder, sorry about that.
Nah, you helping the storm, okay? All right. So we got to the questions now. Briefly, like the structures of the team. So we have a curriculum team, which is 5 teachers, 5 students, and an archival team, 5 teachers, 5 students, and a collaborative council, which is 1 teacher, 1 student from each team. And I hope that the collaborative council can change throughout the 2 years so that people have an opportunity to facilitate and lead. But the point of the collaborative council is to help make visible what's happening on each team, talk to across teams, talk to partners, and to really help manifest what's happening with the curricular development and archival development. So originally it was like, okay, the curriculum team will do the things in their classroom. They'll get students to write and read and create student writing and work. And the archival team might think about how to turn this student work into a living archive, however we and they define it. However, we kind of, Diana's remind me, we don't want to be so confined by what teams can do. So if people want to talk across teams, if teachers on the curriculum team want to work together, because a few of the teachers are in the same school, 3 teachers are in the same one school, 2 teachers are in another, or if there's teachers, if Bonnie and Sam want to work together, Sam is on the archive team, Bonnie's on the curricular team. So we kind of want to leave open what happens on each team, but really thinking about how teachers in there can develop what's happening in their classroom, make it visible for others. And then what does it mean to make an archive living? This is kind of where we started when we went to the Colored Girls Museum. We spent a day at the Colored Girls Museum thinking about what is a living archive? What makes an archive living? How is the museum a representation of a living archive? And so we got to talk about some dimensions of a living archive. We had some conversation about how the histories of Black Philadelphians might inform curriculum, student work, and the living archive we create. And it really, I think, complicated what histories might be. The Colored Girls Museum is not your typical museum. She's using art and histories in ways that are not
traditional
in the sense of like Independence National Historical Park or Library of Congress. When you think of a document that's an archive from 16 something or another, her space really complicated that for us in very good ways. And teachers and students got to create their own mini living archives with the things that they had on their person to think about what this could mean for our work moving forward. Before I move on to what happened when we went to Independence National Historical Park, I'll pause there. And Sam, I don't know if you had something that you want to tease out a little further.
Good?
No,
you did what I wanted everybody to get, so you captured it perfect. Okay. I just wanted everybody to get that. So yeah, okay. I was an alley-oop basically. I just gave you alley-oop.
Well, I hope I made it in. It sounds like I did.
Oh, slammed up.
We spent a day at the Colored Girls Museum, and then we spent a day at Independence National Historical Park. There,
I had an interrupt. I had an interruption.
Yes.
Could one of the things be imagined? I had two thoughts. One is there have been in New York City, there have been high schools where like Holocaust studies have created museums within their high schools about Holocaust studies, right? Could there be a museum, like could a high school say, hey, we'd like to set aside this room and create the living archive here? That's one quick thought. But the other is like organizing tours to the Colored Girls Museum. Is that something that people are imagining? But I hear you saying that you're just allowing people their own ideas.
Yeah. And so that was the thing. I think at first people like, so we got to do something together. No, you could. We could have 10 different projects. We can have 2 projects because people want to collaborate. So we're really in the beginning stages of thinking about which histories are folks going to draw on and what work do they want to see emerge in their classrooms. And it's really open right now.
And I'll jump in here too, because thinking about what Paul said, after I went to the Colored Girls Museum, I told the owner, Vashti, that I could create a whole room using my mother, my aunt, my things. My aunt worked for Temple University. My mother is a part of the Great American Migration. She moved from North Carolina to Philadelphia for the better life, the husband, and for her children. And did all these things. And I think about church families, the connections, and just the patterns, the migration patterns that are very prevalent in the city of Philadelphia. So, yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna hop in and talk about something that to Paul's point about creating museums. So the youth school is formerly elementary school, Ferguson Elementary School, which was a part of like the whole district, like closing down schools, right? And so one thing we did, we created a museum to honor the legacy of that Ferguson Elementary, because we took over this building, and you just don't take over buildings and not honor the history of those buildings. So it's some interesting point that you brought up. I just wanted to make that connection.
Cool. Back to you, Barrett, unless anybody else wants to keep interrupting.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'm getting good at toggling back and forth. So, okay. All right. So when we were we spent another day at Independence National Historical Park. And when I say that here in Philly, for folks that are not from here, they have a bunch of different sites around our like center city area. And we were in the Ben Franklin Museum. And in the bottom, we were in a room. And we started by thinking about what is history? What histories share? I don't know if that's the word. What histories make up who you are as a person, who you are as a teacher, and what are you wondering about the histories of Black Philadelphians? And after retrieving some answers on a Padlet, many of the students, I think, more than maybe teachers, were thinking about history in a very traditional sense. Even though we had spent time at the Colored Girls Museum, histories didn't always feel like it was something that was way far in the past, but maybe something that happened yesterday or even 5 minutes ago. So we really started to think about what was histories and maybe even which histories folks wanted to draw on or were interested in Philadelphia. And then we had the wonderful, wonderful Dr. Kelly Barnes, who's a Mellon Fellow at Independence National Historical Park. And she introduced us to her work called The Invisible Architects of Freedom Digital Archive. And she shared this database of resources all the way back from the 1600s, really focusing on the stories of Black folks and Indigenous folks in Philadelphia whose stories aren't often told or known. And she shared primary sources, I'll put this in the chat, maps, timelines, worksheets, and more about a self-guided walking tour that we did together.
Can I jump in there and tell them about the self-guided walking tour? So, and there were about 8 different locations, and we chose where we would go. It didn't matter who went. We sort of stuck together as teams. However, myself and another teacher, and it's a shame I forget her name, we went to one location, and the security guard was a Black man. And, you know, there are all these tourists all around. And he was asking us, well, what were we looking for? What were we doing? What was our purpose? And we were telling him that we were following the pathways and the histories of Black people during certain time periods in Philadelphia in this space. And he said, well, I know about this space, but we told him about 2 other spaces. So this document that you see, we just left him with the document. He said, thank you so much, because here he's probably from Philadelphia too, and is finding more about his own city and where people were that looked like him. So that was just interesting in and of itself. Within 15 minutes, we were sharing information.
Yep. So all this is on the site. The document that I was sharing, I guess, is a little more friendly, but teachers and students got to explore one site or 2 if they could get to it, and they're all, you see, in the same kind of location where we were in Philly, in our old or center city. And Kelly put together like little stopping posts to teach, signposts to tell us more about what happened at that site, and gave us a little directive. And we did a writing marathon where folks got to sit, be in the space, have conversation, discuss, and write, and bring back some of their findings to our discussion, where we talked about our favorite memories from the sites, what we learned, and how we might use some of the archival digital archives to help advance the work on our teams. We also talked briefly about multimedia, or the different modes that we could use to help create this living archive. One of the things that stuck out to me was folks are really intrigued by the eyes. there's this site where a 14-year-old enslaved servant Robert Hemmings lived and worked in a home on this site while attending to Thomas Jefferson in 1776. The eyes of the Hemmings descendants in the windows are best viewed from the north side of Market Street at 7th. So folks are going around here and looking up, and we're really like, oh my gosh. Like, I remember a comment from one of the teachers is like, whatever the living archive is, it must capture the attention of the folks around us, because it really kind of caught them off guard in a way that they hadn't felt before. There's lots of conversation about the eyes. This is all we've done so far as whole teams. And so our work moving forward, one team on Saturday will meet the curriculum team to think about what are the histories that they want to draw on? What are the projects that they're doing in their classrooms right now? Who do they want to work with? What other questions do they have? And we'd like to share more of these story mapping resources and other resources that teachers may want to use, but really in the beginning of inquiry and talking together and thinking about our partners and our resources to advance the work. This inquiry cycle will continue through February. And we're hoping in March, April, and May that we can start to really develop what the living archive looks like to share with teachers in our summer institute. That is all I have for tonight.
However, Garrett, wait,
Go ahead.
before Paul, you get in, I have to jump in
Okay.
here and just think about the play on the word invisible, and how powerful that play on that word is. And that's really what drew me into this project, because I love playing with words. And then to see it again with Dr. Kelly having used that same play on that word, I knew I was in the right space, and I knew I needed to be here. I do not want us to be invisible when it comes to artificial intelligence. I'm on this kick, and I don't want to run away from it at all.
And I'm stuck on rewriting. I love the Dr. Dillard talks about the everybody's stuck on the and so what does it mean to rewrite? Because in 20 this 250th celebration, I feel like it's going to be very founding fathers. It's gonna give Liberty Bell. It's gonna give too much of that, and I don't want us, like you say, to be forgotten in that. There's so much rich history. There's so much happening here in Philly. And I feel like this is a great opportunity. I got some of the best teachers in all of Philadelphia on the project, and the best students I'm learning recommended by a lot of the teachers. So what does it mean that invisible, we rewrite so we're not invisible?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It's amazing. So I want to frame the AI, the question in a particular way, at least in my head. And let's see if it has any resonance here. I am constantly with myself trying to shed all of the ways AI is depicted and has been depicted for 2 years now. And I see this as an opportunity to rethink AI as much as anything. So it's not a completion machine. It's not even what we're doing, which is a guided writing machine. AI can be so many things that we haven't imagined before that I want to start brainstorming the possibilities in terms of like you started with, Sam, so could we do that for a second? And I'll just remind you of a couple, I'll say a couple of things and then see if you can add to this list. Is that okay to just sort of brainstorm together and kind of say, could AI do that? I mean, that's what I think we need to do, and not have an idea of what AI is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let go of ChatGPT. Like it's not just that. It's not even just generative AI, right? AI is bigger than that and more powerful. But I'm gonna start with two simple examples, and then I'll shut up. One is that on the when you look at an archive, there is a process and a learning to do that, right? And there are worksheets for that. Those worksheets in like 2 hours of time could be prompted into AI coaches that would support a student to look at archives really carefully, right? That's a real simple thing we can do tomorrow. The other thing that we've explored a lot over the last couple of years is simulators. What if we could bring to life, and I almost want to forget AI and bring Christina Cantrell into the conversation. Like, what if we imagine that we were building a set of puppets, right? But we're not, we're building AI puppets. What if we could imagine AI places where people could go and have conversations with historical characters, right? Who would talk back to them and have an ongoing conversation about current events or whatever they wanted to talk about. How would we give those AI puppets the language that we want them to speak, right? That's a kind of a big project. That's a possibility too. But these are just my ideas. I just want to so some feet.
Well, Paul,
I wanted to say as much as go
that's
ahead.
why I
Please
told you
jump in,
what was on the top of my head, because I knew you could run further than what was on the top of my head about language, AI, and the living histories and the archiving of Black people's documentation. And when I think about AI, I think about the span of time, and how quickly that span of time can be reached. Versus like Dr. Kelly did. She could only work up to, I believe, the 1800s or right before the 1900s. But I'm thinking about, even beyond that time, because now in our classrooms, we have children who have generations. They can go back 4 generations of history in Philadelphia, their families. So, and just them being able to reach that. And so I hear you. And as you said that, I thought about the design of clothing. So that's another thing. Clothing styles, street styles. Streets were changed. One thing about America, they knock buildings down. Other countries, historical buildings stand for the test of time until somebody bombs it. Here, they just knock them down and do something new. So all of this stuff. And neighborhoods. How can we reconstruct neighborhoods like what Sam is talking about with the mapping? Because a lot of the Black neighborhoods in Philadelphia, like in other urban centers, were destroyed because of capitalism. So what happened? Where did those people go? And then when we're talking about more modern Black history in Philadelphia and most other cities, again, we talk about chemical warfare, the implosion of crack cocaine in Black neighborhoods to again cause them to lose properties and communities and all of this. And so, and some of that history is real, and a lot of people don't even want to talk about it. But it is a part of what has happened here. And probably in other places. Can I ask Joy and Marina, what are they thinking while we're...
Yeah, because Marina, you've done some primary document work, right? But go ahead.
Yeah, I
Just answer
actually
Bonnie's
also so for about, I don't know how long it's been, but we actually at our school have a partnership with a local archive. And I've worked very closely with the one of the archivists for several years, developing different types of projects to support the learners and getting their hands on primary sources. But we've also done a lot of work where we flipped it and we've had the students learn what primary sources are by evaluating their own creations as primary sources.
Mm.
And then we actually did create a unit several years ago, like building a personal archive with the idea of being able to tell a story from what you included in it. And a lot of it was pieces that they had worked on from the year, as well as some personal creations. And then we really use it as an opportunity for the children to get to know one another. Joy and I work in a very, very, very small district. We have probably about 350 children from junior pre-K until grade 8. And we work in a really beautiful school. It's incredibly diverse in so many different ways. And the children, though they think they know each other very well, they're often surprised by what they do not know about each other. And that actually has been a really good experience. So I love archival work. With working with the archivist, I've recognized how important it is for young people to learn about the place that they're living in, spending time at, where their families are from, and beginning to not only become researchers but also historians, and being able to use those documents to begin to develop the stories by themselves and with one another. So I love this. I think this is such a beautiful project. I really can't wait to see more of it develop. And I'm really excited because I'm going to be in Philadelphia. I guess, is that in February, Paul? The
Yeah,
EduCon?
end of January, February. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
EduCon.
you're presenting at EduCon, and you'll have to get an extra day if you can, and we can go see the Color Girls Museum.
Well, I would like to.
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah.
you know, I kind of like, I hear things during these calls sometimes, and then I start opening a new tab, and it looks fantastic, and I really would love to see it in person and learn more.
Cool.
I have so many questions. I was trying to write them down because I need to write a memo after this conversation. But what's in my head is, how can AI empower students and teachers and people in Philadelphia? Like, this work, like, sometimes I think like white papers, like, it just gets lost in academy, in like, how can this actually help a student that I see walking on the street to this school right here down the street, like right here? I feel like you said, Paul, people are so scared of it. And I realize with teachers, they hold so much power about what kind of knowledge is going to be generated in their classroom spaces. And so many teachers are like, nah, we not doing this. And it's just like a personal, they can just decide it. It's not part of anybody's common core. It's not anything that's mandated. Nobody has to do it. And there's so many things in the school district here around what kids can't do. Everything's blocked out. And so, not just in the classroom, but also from what we produce. My big question is, how can it empower us? And I don't know. It's a really big question. I don't know.
I can get pretty quickly, and if I can, I think other people here probably can too, to needing an expert from Penn who's doing AI work, right, to consult with you, right? So we have this idea that we know it's not ChatGPT, we know it's not just generative AI, and we know there's something else out there that can happen. Can you help us key teachers into what that is? Anyway, do you hear what I'm saying? I mean, we can only go so far, because, but I think there are people who have ideas that could help us. So, for example, students could create. I mean, the article that I sent you and about how on native lands, where is it, in South Dakota, they are bringing.
Oh no, I think
Built apps that other people could use, right? Did I freeze? Sorry.
Yes, you froze.
So basically all I'm saying is that I think the ideas can bubble up, And if we can get the teachers who are afraid of ChatGPT and say, yeah, you're right to be afraid of that, but there's so much more that AI can do. Here are the other possibilities. I think that would be exciting.
Joy was trying to get in, Paul.
Yeah, it's
Good.
okay.
I'll shut up. Yeah. Good.
I'm just literally, my brain is moving in all these different directions. But I was thinking as you were talking about this, I thought about how my sister and I went to the National Museum of African American History in Washington, D.C. for the first time in the spring during spring break, and how I was thinking about oral histories, because just hearing like the actual oral tradition that is really paramount in African American culture and actually throughout the diaspora. It's just, that's another component. I wonder how AI can help with that, because that idea of storytelling is very important for preservation, self-preservation, but also, of course, teaching history and the importance of where we come from. So I was thinking about that, because that stayed with me, because as an ENL teacher, because I teach mostly immigrant students, we always start with oral language as like the jumping off point for literacy. And then I was thinking about, I had attended through the New York State Reading Association, there was a woman named Keisha James who she has this foundation. I think it's called Our Local History. She's African American. It reminded me of that. I think she's focused on Rochester. So I was thinking about what she presented, because it's that idea that history is all around us and in us. Because I'm just thinking out loud, because it can be very presented as very static and finite and the idea, I love the idea of living, because it's like, as you said, it could be yesterday, it's like, it's not something that doesn't necessarily have to be long ago, but it's like even recent history as well. And that students and teachers are co-collaborating their histories as we speak. So I'm just really like musing on what you're saying. It's fascinating. And I kudos to on your work, because I think it's, especially now, it's very important to make sure that these voices are being heard. So I just really thank you for what you're doing.
Joy, will you say again the name of Keisha James' organization?
I think it's called and Marina, I think you're familiar. I think it's called Our Local History. I know she's on LinkedIn, and she even has a website. I'm just trying to look it up right as we speak. But I remember going to a presentation, and she did a presentation through the New York State Reading Association, as well as on Rochester, I think is where she's based. But she also did one on Westchester, where Marina and I are from. I'm just going to look for it. I can probably try and drop it in the chat if I can find it.
It is called Our Local History. She also, I think, Joy, because you were the one that sent it to me, she also ran like a phenomenal virtual conference last year. She had Bettina Love as the keynote, and then other really fantastic sessions too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does look like her work is a lot in Rochester.
And that's where Bettina Love is from as well. So yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's, so I was just thinking of like, connect the connection there between what you were doing, what she was doing. They're very similar. But I know she's on LinkedIn. That much I do know. Keisha James.
I want to offer two other thoughts, and then then I'm not going to say anything else, and everyone else promised to do the same. But one is that right now our tech guy Jeremy is working on something called Vision with writing partners, and this is something that OpenAI announced like 7 months ago, but it hasn't been available through APIs yet. Don't worry about all that technical. We haven't been able to do it on writing partners until now. So we will be able to have AI look at a vision, an image, and give a description of what it sees there, and then students, so we can think about what we want it to do, right, in terms of an archival piece. So that's one little piece. The other piece I want to say is for teachers who are resisting and worried and upset about AI, I want to say, forget AI, just tell us what you want to do, and we'll think about how AI can support that, right? I just like if they say we want students to be able to talk to historical characters, we'll think about the AI piece of it. You just give us the idea that you want.
Like, because
Anyway,
I
those are
know
my
that
two. Yeah.
everybody's not bought into AI, and that's not my goal here, is to make everybody fall in love with it. But I do think that there's something significant about how AI can be used to make everybody's work visible, to deepen everybody's work, to do something that I don't know yet what it could be.
Mhm.
And I'm excited about that. I have some insight to some of the teachers. Like, one teacher perhaps wants to do a monologue with students. She's a theater teacher, right? So she produces the play. What does that mean for how we make visible or deepen what histories emerge from that work and what we want to share with our community? One teacher does work around helping her students create a new school. She draws on African American histories to think about reimagining school, reimagining their own schools. They build their own school. They create all this stuff, right? What does that mean for how AI can advance, deepen, or make visible that work? That doesn't mean she needs to be bought into it completely, but I do think that, in knowing that teacher, that like you said, I think a lot of people have misconceptions, myself included, about what AI can do. And not a lot of people have asked the question about what are the possibilities.
Mm.
Because right now it's just very chat GPT, it's very Siri, it's very kids cheating, writing, their assignments or whatever you call it. So it's limitations, I think, about what could be. But yeah, that's how I see it right now.
Cool. Anybody
Anybody?
else want to throw in a last thought?
Yeah.
You're good. Sam, I see you leaning back. Does that mean anything?
No, I'm getting excited because I got some soup. I got some soup on the side over here.
I got my dinner on the side too. I had to go.
So that was just me getting excited for that.
Okay.
That's crazy that you can pick up my vibes, bro. We spend too much time together, man. It's scary.
Yeah, but we're still in the beginning. And I thank you, Marina and Joy, Soror Joy, for joining. I appreciate your thoughts, and I hope we all will continue to be in conversation. And when you come down to Philly, please, I hope we can connect.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I love that.
So Bonnie, you know you're coming to EduCon, right?
Yes, Paul told me I'm coming to EduCon.
Okay.
I'm thinking yes.
I get to tell you to come somewhere this time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Bonnie, we're bringing students too, so we got to plan.
Yes,
this.
they already volunteered. They have.
Okay, and cool. All right.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Thank you all.
We done?
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
are. I think.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diane. It's good to see you. Soror Joy.
Good to see you. Nice to see some new Soras. I'm in Westchester Alumni Chapter in New York.
Oh, I know people there.
You really? We need to connect up.
Yes.
Danielle Henry.
All right, y'all. Bye-bye.
Danielle Henry?
Okay, see you, Sam.
Yes, she was our outgoing she was 2 presidents ago, Danielle. And your full name is what is your name? Barrett
Rosser.
Rosser?
Yeah.
I know Danielle, yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I know people more in the Brooklyn alumni.
Oh, Brooklyn chapter. Okay. Well, we're all, connected. So yeah, I'll tell Danielle that I was on the call with you. She's awesome, by the way.
All right, y'all.